Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Star Trek Fleet Command. Your mission: to gather materials and resources, build a base, train a crew, and launch powerful ships. To forge an alliance and grow strong together. To boldly play how no one has played before. Greetings everybody, Admiral Neelix here, and welcome to Server 21. Now, I know it's been a long time since I've made a video. Technical difficulties with my laptop, couldn't get the editor to work, couldn't upload, and I had several ideas on some videos to make, so I'm going to have to go back and remake those. I couldn't attach the intro to those videos and upload them. So I found an app that allowed me to create a new intro, and I hope you like that. And since I screen record these videos from my phone that happens to capture my voice, every video that I've made have always been a live narration to show what I'm doing and just discuss and all that stuff. But having said that, from the bottom of my heart, all this time that I haven't been making videos, you guys, you've been wonderful. You kept the channel alive by asking your questions, by sending in comments on maybe some different crew configurations, what ship to use for what, and things like that. And new subscribers, welcome. The likes, the shares, all that stuff. You kept the channel alive, and that blows my mind. Thank you so much for that. I hope to continue to make some more videos for you and bring them out soon, now that I figured out how to do it all totally from my phone, and maybe work in some smoother objects. I got a lot of stuff to catch up on, so there'll be some videos coming soon, especially like for Titan here and things like that. So let's go ahead and get to it. What I'm on my way to is I am on my way to do some Solo Armadas. And you're going to learn maybe a trick here. Then we're going to discuss certain crews. I don't have all the Armada officers, so if you've noticed in my videos, we're basically working with what we've got. If you do have all the Armada crews, maybe in comments you can say, hey, well, you know what? If you have these officers, use this, and this guy, this person, that person, and what type of Armadas that they're trying to do. Certain things I'm going to help you understand as far as what to look for in wording in their descriptions, so that you don't use the wrong officer for the wrong Armada. See which ones can cover all Armadas and things like that. Now, we're going to attack this guy. I don't do a lot of solos at all, really. Now, I will solo a regular Armada like you've seen in my Stella videos. But as far as like where I have to use 3 different ships and 3 different crews and things like that, it can get a little confusing, maybe a little overwhelming for some. So let's go ahead and ease your mind and get you into it. So when you start reaching the levels to where you start getting your support ships, and I'm talking about your Cerritos, maybe your Defiant, and here the Titan. When you start to get in the levels of those, and you can have potentially not just a 3-ship Armada, which is needed for the Solos Armadas that are actually going to be in the circle. You can make it a 4-ship Armada, a 5-ship Armada, or a 6-ship Armada if you have 1, 2, or 3 of these support ships. So normally I would use Defiant in place of, let's say, my Enterprise. Defiant has its own buffer system. You can use it for any of the Armadas, any and all of them. Wouldn't recommend it to use it on an exchange, because that's, you know, Stella. That's clearly what the Stella is for. You can use it, but I mean, if you don't have Stella, but I mean, you know, yada, right? So I'm using it here as a support ship just for the sake of this video. I got one chance at this because I only have the 500 left to start this Armada. I did a couple of test runs, but I did those test runs without the support ships, and I was able to beat them, but my auger died twice. Okay. However, the other ship survived pretty good on their own, and I still won the Armada. Always remember that when you're doing an Armada, as long as one ship survives, you win the Armada. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set these up so that we're not wasting too much time. I got a lot to cover, and I want to keep this video within reason. Okay, so I'm going to set these up. All right, now these support systems don't last very long, and I got a minute here, and so that's going to be ample time. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I'm going to support a ship. It's going to ask me which one, and I'm going to support it with Defiant, the Augur. Confirm on the spend. Cerritos, I'm going to go ahead and pick Kelvin. All right, now Titan, when you hit the support system, it's going to cover all the ships that are basically in the system, or the ones that it's affecting. Usually it'll go after the strongest ships in use. So we have that. All ships are being supported. Hopefully, because of what I said earlier, that the Augur was dying the 2 times before. Let's see if I can get it to survive this time, since it has a pretty decent support system. The ships that it's affecting on here for all 3, the Kelvin, it has its, I believe I set the Cerritos for Kelvin, and it also has Titan support. As you can see, the 2 little icons right after the word Kelvin. It's doing the same for the Augur. As you see, the Defiant and Titan are supporting that, and Poor Little Enterprise is all on its own with just the Titan support. Now, if you didn't know this, right when it's countdowning here, if you'll tap the Armada itself, you'll see this little window, and you'll tell right away if you won or not. And here I won, because shield was all the way down and hull is completely gone, so I'm winning this. I just want to see if Augur survives, and it didn't. However, I won the battle, and that's fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and send these guys home, and since the Augur is already there, I'm going to repair it. We'll start discussing the crew that's on it, and the other ships should be arriving in dock or already there by the time I'm done with those, and we can go on with the rest of the video. Okay, so a little bit of recall music. Okay, so let's go ahead and go here. Now we're going to change it. All right, repair, scoop, bop, beep, bop, doop, boop, boop. Squeedy, dweedy, deepity, doo 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 boop doo. The reason why I scat is because one of my viewers kind of requested that I keep doing scats, and I just want to keep them happy, man. Can you dig it? Okay, so here we are. We're back there, and I don't know why this is important to me, but I like to have my screen in the vicinity of where my base is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and tap into Augur. We're going to talk about crew. We're going to read a little stats here. Or abilities and stuff, and I'm going to show you something as well. So I'm going to tap on the Bashir. Oops. We're going to tap on the Bashir, check his info. Of course, your attack, defense, and health. Attack 873, defense 589, health at 3431. I'll tell you what those numbers are going to come into play here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and check his captain's ability. Surgical Precision, Julian Bashir increases critical hit damage by 150% against Solo Armadas. There's your wording right there. This tells you that Bashir is only going to be good for Solo Armadas, not just the type that I just did, which were in Jem'Hadar space, but it will also help you with the Solo Borg Armadas. Okay, this doesn't mean that you're going to go and kill a Federation Armada all by yourself and then use Bashir on there. That's not what the Solo means in this. Specific types of armadas, some of these officers are specific to those types, such as the Exchange Armadas. Exchange Armadas, they have like the mud characters from Rogue Store. Young Mud and Row Mud and maybe Avix and Sisha and stuff like that. Not Row Mud, but Sisha. They're specific to Exchange Armadas, okay? And here you're looking at somebody who is specific to Solo Armadas, all right? We're going to check his Bridge Officer ability there. Julian Bashir increases critical hit chance by 25% against Solo Armadas. So whether he's captain or a bridge officer, you don't want him on the bridge while doing other types of armadas. However, if you have him built up and his attack, defense, and health are built up fairly nice, then you might use him as a lower deck officer, depending on what part of the ADH you want to have him boost up. In this case, because I like having a lot of health heavy people on the bottom deck, he would most likely be used as a health officer, okay, on the lower deck, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Let's go on to Miles O'Brien. He's got a couple of different uses, and Scopely, you did it right this time, and maybe if enough people petition during the survey, if we can get Scopely to change all of the officers that are placed on the bridge that have to do with warp speed and range, and maybe cargo spacing, have them put on the lower deck. Not so much cargo spacing, because I mean that it's okay to have that on the bridge of a survey ship, a cargo ship, what have you. But as far as like warp speed and warp range, that should be a lower deck thing. The engine isn't in the bridge, even though, yeah, Geordi can control some of it from there, whatever. But the thing is, the actual thing is down. I'm on a rant. Let's get off that. Okay, Odo. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't read Brian's stuff, did I? Okay, so Luck of the Irish. For 3 rounds, Miles O'Brien has a 30% chance of increasing shots against an Armada by 100%. Okay, this doesn't specify what type of Armada, so any type of Armada you're doing, if you don't have a lot of officers that deal with Armada, Miles O'Brien is going to help you at least that much. It's some help. It specifies he's Armada. Any Armada will do. Get him in there, and he'll help out as much as he can. Okay, now let's go to Odo. Now he's got 2 abilities. It's going to be bridge officer and lower deck. As you ever see here where it says captain maneuver unfit to lead, that just means that if you put him in the captain seat, nothing's going to benefit from that. Okay, so let's go ahead and read his stuff. Fluidic space as an officer ability. Odo increases base armor, shield, deflection, and dodge by 40% against solo armadas. Here again, he's specific to a solo armada, so you don't want to use him for a Federation armada. You don't want to use him for an exchange. You don't want to use him for the Cardassian ones. So just leave him off there as far as that's concerned. Let's see his right as might. Odo increases critical hit damage by 20%, and it doesn't specify what type of armada. It doesn't specify if it's an armada or not. He just offers 20% to critical hits. So you can use them on lower deck to fight Reds. You can use him on lower deck maybe to fight in PvP. And you can use him, of course, for criticals on armadas. So he's kind of a roundabout guy. You can use him. You build him up. Those numbers may increase. So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, if you wanted to use him as a health officer, he's health strong. As he grows, those numbers will grow, so you can use him as a lower deck anyway. Okay, so I've shown you so far how to look for certain wordings on these armadas. Right now I'm going to show you this lower deck here. I'm going to go ahead and, well, let me show you B'Elanna, because she's specific to these. We're going to go ahead and show her officer ability on the bridge. When you take damage from a non-player, hostile, or armada, B'Elanna increases your armada piercing shield, piercing, and accuracy by 250% of attack for 1 round, and that's cumulative. Okay, if you use her as an armada person or so, it doesn't specify, so you can have her on any armada as a bridge officer if you wanted. However, I would probably go with knock it down. 10% chance each round to apply to hull breach to non-player hostiles or armada for 1 round. Okay, so again, if you're low on officers and you happen to have gotten B'Elanna unlocked, and you're low on the armada strong officers, then of course have her on the bridge. But if you have enough to kind of spread around or so, put her on the lower one. You'll probably get around the same results. I mean, just it's a gamble, but play around with that. Put her on the bridge. Do an armada as a test. Make sure your ship has a fresh ship, and make sure the armada is fresh. See what kind of damage you do, and then compare that with her on the lower deck. and see which one got you the better results. Which one caused the more damage? Which one, just that. Which one did the most for you? And therefore, that'll tell you like how to use her. And then once you start building her up, like let's say every time you level her up, go do those tests again. And I advise that for any of your officers that you happen to use on armadas, that use them, see if they work out, find out a nice configuration, get them in there, do the armada as a test, see what kind of damage you do, and then if you build them up, go ahead and play with them again and see how much damage you can do on maybe a bigger armada or so, and go from there. All right. Now, when I tell my crew to set up a health heavy bottom and go from there to mix it around, this is how you do it. You see where it says strength here, right above the highlighted con that I made. You tap the word strength, and it's going to show you this list right here, and you can scroll to what you need. I'm going to go with health. Now it'll put in place all the health heavy officers in line. Okay, so now I got to remember which ones. Okay, this is ship E, so I want to look for E. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Pike, and here's how you determine who's health heavy if you don't know. Attack, defense, and health right there. You just kind of look through those numbers and see where you're going at. Now he's got a pretty good health. Now the better health officers are already on another ship, but this guy's also got defense. All right, his attack's not so much by comparison, but he's got some good health, and of who I have available, he's the best one. So he goes there. What ship was IE? So again with Groosh, we're going to go with Bones, Carol, Carla, and if you'll see my attack, defense, and health over here to the right, 28,000, 40,000, 47,000. They're all at 300%. So I've met the requirements for that bonus, but I want to fatten up that attack a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to attack and pick who I have the best available for attack. It's always going to line up the ones with the most in from strongest to weakest. So he happened to be the first of attack that was available, not on another ship. So now you see that my attack, defense, and health are a little more balanced. They're all into 40,000s. A little lopsided, but at least they're kind of, they're even enough. Okay? You still have your 300% bonus, and there you go. All right. Even though that ship died, I could probably raise up some more officers on there. When I build them up, those numbers will grow, of course, with research, Armada's research, Solo Armadas research, and so on. All that's going to build up to where the ship will be able to withstand that. Okay, so now that I've shown you like certain wording to look for, I don't have to go into other details other than no, as far as crewing, now you know what words to look for. Solo Armadas, any Armada, Exchange Armada, things like that. These are going to help you figure out who and what to have. And I know you want the quick answer as to like, well, which officers did you use? So I'm going to go ahead and repair these, and I'm just going to show you real quick because there is something else I want to show you that's going to help you with Borg Armadas. Should you have Romulan ships, the ISS Jellyfish, or a Klingon ship, like a D4 or so, or less, just to start getting you going on your Borg Solo Armadas. So let's go ahead and go into my base, and we are going to click on to interior. All that was on the bottom right, by the way. And we're going to tap here, and we're going to tip. Slows. Phone's running a little slow today, I guess. Research, and we're going to go to the combat tree as soon as it shows up. Little wait music. Combat tree. Scroll. And what we are looking for is a little further down the tree, so you may not be of level yet to do so. Now, I don't have a jellyfish. Okay, I don't have a jellyfish. Kind of don't want it. I'm beyond need for it, I think. It was bragging rights to get the original jellyfish back in the day, so I'm not really worried about getting it. I'll eventually get it in time. So down here in the middle, on the bottom, Romulan Translink Disruptor. You'll also see up here on the top in the middle, Klingon Translink Disruptor, and jellyfish there on the bottom. So I'm going to tap on the Klingon one. I've already done the Romulan one. Let me show you what you're looking at. It's a real quick one. It's only a few seconds long to do it. I have enough of the charge nanoprobes to do so. I'm going to go ahead and start that. And, ooh, let me see. Full impulse? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. I do want to do my Klingon ship one because I had moved on to higher level Borg ships, and I'll go into what this is for here in just a second. Okay, so we got that leveled. Now, and I did one for Romulan. What it says here, and it'll say the same thing for the Klingon one, bring down the Borg sphere's communications to increase the damage dealt to it by 35,000% with Romulan ships. So that's why I was using the Romulan ship to fight the solos that I just did. And even though it lost, I'm not sure that this helped on that particular solo one, but it does help on the Borg ones. So part of your research should include having the translink disruptors filled in. You saw all you basically needed for it was a little bit of a dilithium with some nanoprobes there, and you're set. It's a real quick thing. It's 13 seconds. You can speed it up right away, or just wait the 13 seconds out and go from there. Look through your research trees. Find your Armada researches. Be careful of the wording. If you're trying to do solo Armadas, you don't want to do research for one that has to do with exchange Armadas. You don't want to do one that has to do with anything that says Armada other than the specific ones will help all your Armadas. Now you're going to have the specific ones like I just mentioned: exchange Armadas, solo Armadas, and so on. Right? Cardassian Armadas. Make sure you're doing the right research. Like if you have enough latinum and enough materials to just zoom it by and get it all done in just a few seconds, make sure you're doing the right one. You don't want to waste those materials because of the need that you have at that moment. Okay, now that's your basics on how to crew, what to look for in a I love when my screen does that part right there. The if my base is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. Okay, so those are the basics on how to read your officer descriptions. Go through them, and learn which officers go through what. Write it down, or if you can memorize it, do so. Whatever helps you move along and gain strength in your game. So that's going to be it for now. I hope this helped you understand how certain things work a little bit. As you know, I'm not much into the math of it and things like that, but you'll get on. You'll get there. Okay, this game is a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time, have patience, and above all else, on a personal note, if the game starts frustrating you, and not just the gameplay itself, look, I mean, there's going to be cyber bullies out there and everything like that who are going to try to belittle you and make fun of you and whatever. If the game gets to you like that, put it down and walk away. Games like this, on a serious note, can be toxic to people, and it invites toxic people to play these kind of games. So walk away if you need to. Take your time, take a deep breath, come back with a fresh head, and just play your game and try to have the most fun you can. But if it does get to you, just walk away. Okay? For your health. Okay? All right. So that's going to be it for now. Next video will be coming up as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that. And until then, have fun and take care.